Do you believe that with just 30 items, 30 minutes, and 30 touch points each day, you could turn a cluttered house into a livable space? I didn't believe it either. Until I visited a friend who works as a professional cleaner. Her name is Susan, and she showed me a method that seemed strange but turned out to be surprisingly effective, the 30-30-30 method. In this video, you'll hear all 10 tips that professional cleaners use every single day. From how to let go of 30 items without regret, to how to wipe 30 surfaces without feeling tired. From dividing your home into functional zones to a clever trick for dealing with things you can't part with, using a rotation box. And finally, the most important secret. The goal isn't to clean the house until it's spotless, but to clean in a way that lets you live lightly and true to yourself. I know it sounds too ideal, but maybe you'll see yourself in the story I'm about to tell. And if you stay until the end of this video, I believe you'll want to start making a change. Not everything at once, just one drawer to begin with. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you find this content helpful. Your support is what keeps us going and allows us to keep sharing more meaningful ideas. Thank you for being here. Now, let's move on to the first habit Susan shared. Let go of 30 items a day to free up your living space. Habit 1. Let go of 30 items a day to free up your living space. Susan told me that if you get rid of 30 things you no longer use each day, you'll see your home change within a week. At first, I thought she was joking, until she grabbed a small cloth bag, opened the cabinet near the sink and started counting. A bent plastic spoon, an expired spice jar, a chipped mug, a roll of tape that no longer sticks, a nearly empty bottle of glass cleaner. In just 10 minutes, she had collected 30 items. What surprised me was that Susan didn't hesitate. No guilt, no doubt. She just smiled and said each item you let go of is like clearing out a piece of mental clutter. Because holding on to old stuff is like holding on to things that no longer serve you. I tried it that same evening. I opened the nightstand drawer and found some old bills, a dried-up pen, a charging cable I couldn't remember what it was for, and a few odds and ends I had no idea why I kept. I counted. Each time I picked up an item, I asked myself, do I need this? In just that one small corner, I found 30 things ready to go, and I started to feel lighter. Not because the room got bigger, but because my mind was no longer weighed down by unnecessary stuff. Susan was right. Don't try to clean the whole house in one day. Just one small bag, one small corner, and 30 items a day. No need to be perfect, no need to be strong. Each item is one step closer to a lighter, brighter, easier to breathe living space. If you don't know where to start, begin with a drawer. Just one. Then tomorrow, move to another corner. And you'll see, living lightly isn't as hard as you think. Habit 2. Put 30 items back in place to avoid exhausting searches. After letting go of what's not needed, Susan told me something just as important. If you don't put things back where they belong, your house will be cluttered again in just a few days. She took me around her small kitchen. Every item had its place. Spoons sat next to the stove, paper towels near the sink, spices arranged by frequency of use, salt, pepper, oil, then the less used ones. Susan said that every day she just picks 30 items that are out of place and puts them back where they belong. No need to overthink. Every time she sees something in the wrong spot, she gently tells herself, I'm bringing it home. I tried that too. In 15 minutes, I found a pair of scissors in the medicine cabinet, a phone charger in the silverware basket, shaving cream in the dish cabinet, and a dry sock hanging on the sofa. All things I had forgotten. The feeling of putting them back was strange, like I was tidying up my thoughts. Susan calls it giving your house its peace back. When everything has its place, you don't have to rush around searching for what you need. Each morning you know where the keys are. Each night you know which shelf holds your book. No more opening cabinets with a sigh. No more digging and losing your patience. Just do it every day. 30 things, 30 times restoring order. Your house will feel neater, and you'll feel a little less scattered inside too. Habit 3. Wipe 30 surfaces a day to keep your home clean without wearing yourself out. Susan said one reason people feel too tired to clean is that they let everything pile up until the weekend. She shook her head gently and said, "I don't clean a lot. I just touch 30 surfaces a day." She picked up a slightly damp microfiber cloth and walked through the house. Wiped the dining table, the fridge surface, a doorknob, the light switch frame, nightstand shelf, window frame, sink edge. She didn't scrub hard, just lifted some dust, cleaned up a smudge. I watched and realized it only took 15 minutes. But the house started to brighten up little by little. Susan said what matters isn't sparkling clean. It's feeling at ease in the space you live in. Every clean surface is a small moment of peace, and 30 of those are enough to feel relief. I tried it the next day, set a timer for 15 minutes, and each time I touched a flat surface, I reminded myself, just one wipe. I cleaned the coffee table, the mirror edge in the bathroom, the fridge handle, the back window. I counted to 30 and stopped. I wasn't tired. I wasn't bored. It felt like brushing the house's hair. Susan said, "Don't wait for the weekend to clean everything at once. Just wipe a few visible spots each day. Your space will stay clean, and you'll never feel worn out because of it." 30 surfaces a day, 15 minutes, and a home that always knows how to welcome you back. If you've watched this far and feel even a little lighter inside, then the next habits may surprise you. Because they don't just keep your house cleaner, they help you maintain that order in the long run. If you found the tips helpful so far, you might also enjoy another video on the channel called 10 Cleaning Tricks to Make Your Home Smell Fresh Every Day. In that one, we share very simple tips that can refresh your home without harsh chemicals or expensive tools. You might see the tag for that video in the top right corner of your screen shortly, or in the description, or you can come back to it after finishing this one. Because who knows what you're looking for? Might just be right there. Now let's move on to the next part, where Susan shares how she keeps her home tidy using a few simple daily steps. Habit 4. Create a simple maintenance system to keep your home tidy for the long run. Susan told me, "It's easy to clean once, but the hard part is keeping things tidy." And the way she does that is by setting up simple maintenance systems. So simple she doesn't even have to think. Every morning she checks just 2 spots, the dining table and the sink. If something's out of place, she puts it away. Few minutes before going to bed, she glances around the living room and puts away 5 items. Nothing big, nothing fancy. But she repeats it every day. I asked, "Do you ever forget?" Susan laughed and said, "It's like brushing your teeth. At first you have to remember, then it becomes a habit." I started trying it too. Each morning before making coffee, I look around the kitchen counter. If something's out of place, I put it back. In the evening, I tidy up a few things around the sofa. And something unexpected happened. By the weekend, I no longer had to spend half a day cleaning. The house stayed clean, and I didn't feel like I was cleaning. Susan said, "Anyone can build a system that fits their life. The key is to make it small enough, simple enough to do every day. And once it becomes familiar, cleaning no longer feels like a big task. It just becomes a natural part of life. Light, steady, and so much easier to breathe in." Habit 5. Use the 1-minute rule to take care of small tasks right away. There's a rule Susan always repeats. If something takes less than a minute to do, then do it now. She says, don't let small things pile up into big ones. An unwashed cup, a piece of paper not yet thrown away, a shirt was not hung back. Each task takes just a few seconds, but if left there, they create a feeling of mess you can't quite name. I started to pay attention. When I took off my jacket, I stopped tossing it on the chair. I hung it up. When I finished a glass of water, I washed it right away instead of leaving it in the sink. When I took something out of a drawer, I put it back right after using it. It didn't take effort. No planning. Just one question repeating in my mind. Can this be done in 1 minute? If yes, then do it. Susan said, that's how you keep your home tidy without even feeling like you're cleaning. These are small things, but added up they save you hours every week. More importantly, they give you a sense of control over your space. You're not constantly followed by a list of unfinished tasks, and your mind gets to rest. She said the 1-minute rule isn't just a cleaning tip. It's a way of living, choosing to do the simple things now instead of putting them off and struggling later. Habit 6. Divide your home into functional zones to avoid clutter. Susan said, one of the reasons homes get messy is that we use the wrong space for the wrong task. She told me that there was a time when she kept her laptop on the dining table laundry basket by the bed and trash bin near the front door. Everything got mixed. Then she started zoning the house again. The kitchen was only for cooking. The living room is only for resting. The dining table is only for eating. I followed her around the house. She showed me a small basket near the entrance, where she kept her keys, reading glasses, and wallet. A little tray in the living room for remotes and phone chargers. The shoe rack had only the 3 pairs she wore most often. Anything that didn't belong, she put away. I went home and tried it in my own house. I took books out of the kitchen, removed bills from the coffee table, hung the grocery bag near the door instead of draping it on the chair. The house started to feel clearer, and I felt lighter. Susan said, when you zone correctly, you don't have to clean as much, because everything naturally goes back to its place after use. No more feeling out of control. Each area has its purpose, and you can tidy one section at a time. No need to worry about the whole house. Just clean the right space at the right time, and your home will always feel within reach. Habit 7. Use a rotation box to handle items you're not ready to let go. I asked Susan what to do with items you're unsure about. Should you keep them or toss them? She smiled and pointed to a box in the corner of her cabinet. It had a date written on top. She called it the rotation box. Any item she hesitated about, a rarely used towel, an old book, a good shirt she no longer wore, she put it in that box. She didn't force a decision right away. She just set a reminder. If she hadn't taken anything out after 6 months, she would donate or discard the whole box. No reopening, no second look. I found this method gentle. No guilt, no pressure to be decisive on the spot. I went home and gave it a try. A hat I used to like, a set of glasses I never opened, a picture frame I hadn't hung. I put them all in the box. After just 3 weeks, I barely remembered what was inside. Susan said that proves we don't need them. The rotation box isn't just a way to deal with things. It's a way to let go slowly without inner conflict. And after 6 months, when you open that box, the decision is easier than ever. Habit 8. Use the 5-item rule every time you walk into a room. Susan has a small habit that I found very easy to adopt. Every time she walks into a room, she tidies exactly 5 things that are out of place. No more, no less. Sometimes it's just a pair of shoes in the middle of the floor, a book in the wrong spot, a towel is draped on a chair, a finished glass, a container lid was left out. She said what matters is to act right away without delay. I started trying it. Each time I went into the kitchen, I picked up 5 things that were out of place. Each time I entered the bedroom, I folded 5 items. It never took more than 2 minutes. But after a few days, I could see the house looked less messy. Susan said the human brain likes clarity. When you do a little but do it consistently, you don't feel overwhelmed. You feel in control of your space. And the amazing part is just by removing or putting away 5 things, the room already looks noticeably tidier. Even if a few things are still out of place, your eyes and your mind feel much lighter. She calls this maintaining order through small regular actions. And I realized this is a habit I can carry with me long into the future. Habit 9. Start and end each day with a simple routine to stay tidy. Susan said mornings and evenings are the 2 most important times to keep your home in order. You don't need to do much. Just repeat a few small routines each day. In the morning, she opens the window, straightens the bed, wipes the table, and puts things back where they belong. It takes about 10 minutes. But she says it sets the tone for a structured day. In the evening, she washes the dishes right after dinner, puts away 5 misplaced items in the living room, and lays out clothes for the next day. I gave it a try, and it felt different. Each morning, I no longer woke up to a messy scene, and each night I fell asleep in a tidy, quiet room. Susan said people lose patience when they let the house get messy all day. But if the beginning and end of your day are calmly cleaned, then everything in between follows naturally. A routine isn't a rule, it's an anchor, a way to remind yourself to come back. She said, when you care for your home with that kind of rhythm, it will also know how to hold you gently each time you return. Habit 10. Live by the less is more philosophy to keep what truly matters. When I asked Susan what had changed her the most after all these years of cleaning, she simply smiled and said, "It was when I truly understood that less is always more." She shared that there was a time she kept many things thinking she would need them, but they never got used. She started asking herself with every item, "Does this bring me joy? Does it help me today? If not, let it go." She didn't live in scarcity. She still kept the things she loved, but only the ones worth keeping. I went home and looked around. There were many things I never touched, but still kept out of guilt. A fancy dish set only used for guests, but no one had visited in 3 years. an expensive shirt that didn't feel comfortable, a bookcase stuffed with books I no longer wanted to reread. I started choosing again. Keep less, but keep with care. The house didn't just feel more spacious. Every item left felt closer to who I am. Susan said, "Living simply doesn't mean forcing yourself to let go. It means choosing to keep only what helps you breathe easier, live better, and love life more each day." When I left Susan's house that afternoon, I didn't just walk away with a few cleaning tips or a kitchen cloth. I carried something much bigger, a new way of seeing life after 60. What Susan shared wasn't a technique, it was a lifestyle, a choice made each day. Not because she's naturally organized, but because she chooses to do small things consistently. I thought about the drawer at home. The chair by the window is where I drink tea. The closet I always say I'll clean on the weekend, but never do. And I realized I don't have to wait for the weekend. I don't need to wait for motivation. I just need to pick a small corner, one item, one gentle action. Then tomorrow, do it again. I don't need to clean the whole house. I just need to live a little differently each day. Susan once said, "A tidy home is not a perfect house. It's a place where you can breathe when you walk in, a place where things don't weigh on your memories, a place where you no longer have to search for what you need. Because everything is already where it should be. And so are you. When your home is in order, your heart will know where it belongs." Thank you for watching to the end. If you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to let us know you're there. Your support means the world to us. See you in the next video.